Going to begin tonight with weather. It was a chilly Easter Sunday, and we can expect more cool temperatures to start the week before things begin to warm back up. Let's check in with Russ Thomas from our sister station in Missoula.
Well, our Easter Sunday, certainly the calmer of the two weekend days. Yesterday, of course, brought all that snow, not just to central Montana, but across the entire state. Snow on the ground, the sky cleared out. We woke up this morning to a record low 2 below zero in Great Falls. If you're outside, you know how cold that is. And again, we're sitting here now mid-April talking about numbers like this. Hopefully you've had a wonderful Easter. We have had some sunshine, especially early in the day. Now we're seeing some clouds move back into the area. You could see a couple snowflakes this evening and during the early overnight hours. Otherwise, we are going to generally stay dry, even though we are seeing an increase in clouds. We look at our temperatures right now. Again, this is so atypical for this time of year. Typically, we're in the 50s, even the 60s across much of the state. We're looking at 20s. We're looking at low to mid 30s, 27 Great Falls, 25 in Cut Bank. A lot of 27s out there. Helena, Havre as well. You look off west of the divide, Kalispell, Missoula, Hamilton, all sitting in the mid 30s. That's about all we can muster. That's the warmest part of the state. Coming up in just a few minutes, I'll let you know if we're going to warm up anytime soon.
All right, thanks, Russ. We go now to a check of the latest COVID-19 numbers in Montana. According to this morning's report from the governor's coronavirus task force, there are now 387 confirmed cases in the Treasure State. 6 people have died as a result of the disease, and 47 have been hospitalized, and 169 Montanans have recovered. Now, of the 10 new cases reported by the state, 5 of them are in Toole County. That brings the total there to 25. The latest Toole County residents to test positive are all over the age of 60, including 2 women in their 80s, a woman in her 90s, another in her 60s, and a man in his 70s. Half of the state's 6 coronavirus-related deaths have been in Toole County. The state has partnered with local agencies to create an incident command unit to address Toole County needs, including providing personnel and resources. On Thursday, Governor Steve Bullock and Major General Matthew Quinn of the state's coronavirus task force visited Toole County for a briefing on the situation. While there's no known cure for coronavirus, there are several ways to help prevent its spread, and one of the best ways is to cover your face. But the effectiveness of face coverings and masks has led people to question whether to wear them. MTN's Lindsay Hyatt spoke with Benefis Health Systems to uncover the truth about face coverings.
You already know the basics of infection prevention.
So the main things, of course, are staying home, not hanging out with your friends and family like you normally would. And then really good hand hygiene is hugely important, not touching your face, your eyes, nose, and your mouth.
But Benefis Health Systems Infection Prevention Coordinator says there's one tool that's become critically important in the fight against the infectious disease coronavirus.
If you need to go, to the grocery store or to the pharmacy or something, and you're going to be at a place where you can't know that you're going to be able to socially distance, so at least 6 feet or more from other people, and the CDC is recommending you wearing some kind of a face covering.
She defines a face covering as
a homemade fabric mask or a bandana or anything that you can, carefully tie around your face.
But why a face covering and not a medical grade face mask?
So we really recommend that we leave those sort of hospital health grade, medical grade face masks for the health professionals, because we're seeing people that we know that are sick with something, right? It may not be COVID-19, but it could be something else infectious. And we are going to be in close contact with them as we're examining them.
So when is it safe to uncover your face?
So if you're at home, you don't need to be wearing that face mask, or you're just driving alone in the car, you don't need to be wearing the face mask. Really, it's just to help remind us when we're in public, we may not be able to keep that social distancing that's recommended.
But since it's better to be safe than sorry, it's best to keep a face mask like this with you so that when you're going out, germs aren't coming in.
And as for keeping those masks sanitary, treat what you wear on your face like what you wear on the rest of your body.
I think you kind of look at it like your clothes, right? And if you've just had it on for a few minutes during the day, I think that's, it's fine. Just inspect that before you put it on. Is it dirty? Are you coughing and sneezing into that mask? If you're ill, I would change those out or then wash them appropriately.
By simply covering our faces, we might better face this virus.
So that's just another thing. If we all do it, potentially we could stop the spread of it sooner.
In Great Falls, Lindsay Hyatt, MTN News.
Well, Great Falls resident Abby Ann usually hosts vendor markets and events in person, but due to recent restrictions, her business, Creative Elements Event Management, has found a new way to feature other small businesses online. Ann says vendor markets are the only source of profit for many of the clients she works with. Instead of having these businesses worry about learning new ways to market themselves online, she created a Facebook page where vendors can promote business without having to worry about breaking any advertising rules. She says she's also working to host Facebook fundraisers on the page for businesses with no source of revenue.
Even if they're like a clothing business or something like that, they can't do curbside. The gyms, they can't do anything. They're stuck. They have no way. Salons, they have no way to do anything.
Ann says she hosts 2 virtual market events each week. Well, getting through this pandemic is tough for everyone, but especially difficult for small businesses. As MTN's Andy Curtis found out, one Helena man is trying to change that and help customers move from the front door of Helena businesses to online.
Businesses across Montana have shut their doors amid the COVID-19 pandemic, but many have not closed up shop. Instead, some are shifting to online sales and carry-out orders, a move that is sometimes easier said than done. That's where Scott Bauma is hoping to make a difference.
There's tons of people that I know in Helena that want to shop local and help them out, but right now it's like hugely fragmented. There's, restaurants are posting menus on Facebook, photos of menus with a phone number.
The Helena-based software engineer and owner of Café Coffee Roasters looked at this pandemic and saw an opportunity to help.
If we can just find like one easy place where everybody in Helena can put their products online and say like, here's how I'll get them to you. It's basically, I guess you could think of it as like an Amazon for local Helena consumers and retailers.
After reaching out on the Facebook group Small Businesses of Helena, Scott received enough interest to start building this type of e-commerce website and try and turn this negative into a positive.
It's probably a scary time, I'm sure, if you're a brick and mortar retailer, but it is, I think, also an opportunity time to like, hey, now is the time to like get my business online and figure out how we can meld that online versus brick and mortar and still bring people together in person in a meaningful way, but also like, embrace the technology that everybody's embracing already.
That was MTN's Andy Curtis reporting. Well, as essential personnel, members of the United States Air Force are working to continue through the coronavirus pandemic, and that means that recruiting doesn't stop, even though the tactics have changed. MTN's Matt Holzapfel reports.
Coronavirus has changed the way we do just about everything, even for the United States military.
We're hiring virtually now, so what that means is instead of meeting in person and risking exposing someone to the coronavirus, what we're doing is we're meeting up through FaceTime, Zoom, or Facebook Messenger, and we're holding appointments that way.
Recruiting doesn't just mean hiring new personnel, it also means getting the word out, a task that has actually become easier even without face-to-face interaction.
A lot of our job is just informing the public about what the Air Force has to offer, because a lot of people think that the Air Force is just pilots or just flying planes. What happens with everybody sitting at home is everybody's home to be able to answer the phone and have time to talk and learn a little bit about the Air Force.
Mickey says that recruiting numbers did dip at first, but as we continue to adapt to our new normal for the time being, those numbers have stabilized. Even with different procedures and policies in place, recruiting has rebounded well.
We don't have any shortages right now. What we're doing is we are reducing the amount of people we're sending down to basic training at a time, just to make sure that we don't put our people at risk for no reason. So what happens is we put our basic training incomers into a quarantine status for 14 days, and during that 14 days they have restricted movement, and that helps us mitigate the spread of the coronavirus.
In Great Falls, Matt Holzapfel, MTN News.
Well, in the capital city, a Touchmark resident turned 100 years old today. And to celebrate, firefighters and police gave Jean Davis a parade. Davis is familiar with pandemics as she was born towards the end of the Spanish flu pandemic in 1920. After retiring, Davis spent 26 years volunteering with AARP as a tax preparer aide. She also spent 12 years volunteering at St. Peter's Hospital as a photographer of newborn babies. That's a job she loved very much. She later moved to Touchmark, where she met old friends and many new ones. Even during the pandemic, Davis still connects with her family through her iPad. She said meeting her husband has been among her most memorable moments.
Getting married is one of them that always sticks around with you. And coming to Montana, I was originally from Ohio and went to California during the Second World War and met a very nice cowboy sailor from Montana. And that ended me up in this beautiful state, and I'm certainly very grateful for that.
Davis says she's also grateful that she can still drive and touch her toes. Happy birthday to Jean Davis. Well, Edgewood, a Helena assisted living and memory care facility, hosted a concert, social distancing style, for their residents today. Edgewood said they are no longer able to provide group activities for their residents to keep them safe from the pandemic, but that won't stop them from celebrating Easter. Around 30 singers from different churches gathered along the front building of Edgewood to provide a singing worship service. Residents sat in front of their windows listening and singing along to continue Easter celebrations.
Some of our residents have been celebrating Easter for 90 years, and I didn't want them to miss that. And as somber as it may sound, you never know what holiday will be the last for some of our friends and family inside Edgewood, and I just thought that I didn't want Easter to be canceled this year, and so I'm hoping that they don't feel like it's canceled, that they still feel encouraged.
Well, coming up, if you have a hankering for Korean food, just head to the Missouri River. See what one Great Falls diner is cooking up when the news continues.
By the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's News Leader.
We continue to highlight local businesses still open for takeout or curbside pickup, and MTN's Keely Van Middendorp went down to the Missouri River Diner to see what they're dishing up for Great Falls area diners.
In the midst of the COVID-19 quarantine, a Great Falls diner is still offering up international cuisine.
Okay, this is fried dumpling.
Sang-soon Almer, also known as Julie, grew up in the Billings area and says Korean cooking has always been part of her life.
Whole life restaurant, I growing up restaurant.
She continues her mother's legacy by keeping recipes alive, cooking up Korean creations alongside diner dishes like BLTs and omelets with homemade toast.
Homemade kimchi, cucumber kimchi.
While Missouri River Diner has gained a loyal following, traffic has slowed down since COVID-19 restrictions took effect.
Everybody cannot sit here. I'm missing a lot of grandma, grandpa.
And while some diners' doors remain open for pickup and to go, Almer says many don't serve up the chance to try breakfast, burgers, and beef bulgogi all at once.
I personally like a spicy pork.
Almer says their menu adds a splash of spice to the Great Falls food scene.
Beef bulgogi.
They'll continue to introduce people to their culture and cuisine through the pandemic.
Everybody be strong. We have to fight it. Fighting.
In Great Falls, Keely Van Middendorp, MTN News.
We'll be back with a check of weather right after this.
Welcome back. Hope you've had a wonderful Sunday. What a great Easter we've had in terms of weather as far as sky conditions go. Temperatures, well, I think we could all maybe 20, 30 degrees added onto what we have out there right now. Take a look at our viewer photos, starting off with Colleen Riley's taken to southwest Montana in the Bitter Valley, and you can see just how pretty it was. We had, of course, the sun out. So cold last night that we get a little bit of that steam coming off the water there. Snowfall, again, just a couple days ago, we were seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s. This morning, we're waking up to very cold temperatures in snow. Up in northwest Montana, Wally Rice sharing this photo taken along the Flathead River. Blue sky above. Again, such a different look from yesterday, and that really was the case. What's interesting is the entire state got snow yesterday, and today just about everybody at least had certain part of the day where we did see sunshine, blue sky. For western Montana, was there all day long. Satellite radar, take a look here. You see around Glasgow, we do have some snow right now, but for the better part of the state, things are pretty quiet. Again, we've got that blue sky in many spots, and even those that don't, we've generally got some clouds, but very little precipitation coming down, certainly in central Montana. Great Falls down through Helena, we've seen some clearing along with, again, some of those clouds. Numbers, temperature-wise, we're 23 Lewistown right now, 25 Billings, 26 Bozeman, 22 in Butte. We've got mid-20s for Haverford, Great Falls, for Helena, for Cut Bank. You factor in the wind, a little bit of a wind chill out there, especially as you head farther to the north and to east. We've got winds of 20 20 in Jordan right now, 19 Glasgow, not so bad in Great Falls, not so bad in Helena right now. But when you factor in that wind chill, it feels like 13 right now in Great Falls. It feels like 22 in Helena. It feels like 7 in Lewistown. These numbers are really hard to believe. It feels like this again for April 12th. That is just so atypical, as mentioned, for this time of year. Overnight tonight, lows, we're not going to drop off a whole lot more. And the reason why is we are going to have some clouds move overhead. So those numbers we're sitting at right now, we're going to drop a few more degrees for the overnight low, but it's not going to be that bad. Now, this is interesting. These are the most recent numbers as of the end of yesterday. We take a look at the snow season, 2019-2020. This goes all the way back to July 1st through April 11th. We've received 99 inches of snowfall in Great Falls. The norm is 55.4, so well above the norm. The season average is 63.5, so we're already surpassed that by quite a bit. Future track. Looking at the overnight hours moving into tomorrow, we're going to see a sunny sky. It's going to be beautiful out there. Clear conditions. Again, we'll call it partly cloudy tomorrow. Farther west you go, the more sunshine we're going to see. But check out our highs. Only 35 Great Falls tomorrow, only 38 in Helena. Upper 40s by Tuesday, but that's still well below the norm. 39 Helena tomorrow, only 27 in Lewistown, 35 in Cut Bank. Just a chilly day despite the fact we are going to get some sunshine. As we move into your Tuesday, another round of light snow possible, mainly though in the higher elevations. I do think Tuesday night and Wednesday offers a better chance of snowfall for just about the entire state. Here's what we've got for you. Again, 35 tomorrow, 49 cloudy on Tuesday. Snow chances Tuesday night, early Wednesday. Back down to 36 for a high on Wednesday. It is going to be so cold for the better part of this week. Partly cloudy, 41 on Thursday. Finally getting back to at least close to normal Friday, finishing out the week with a 56, 53 Saturday, 61 degrees, partly cloudy. That sounds good for next Sunday. Helena, we go 38 to 49 with clouds. Snow showers early Wednesday with a high of only 38, then back to 44 Thursday. Upper 50s to low 60s Friday, Saturday, Sunday with sunshine. So the best part of the forecast period, getting the best weather.
All right, thanks, Russ. Love now, explore later. We'll explain the thinking behind an emotional video encouraging patience for glacier country travel.
Powered by the Montana Television Network. The 5:30 news continues on Montana's news leader.
Welcome back. Love now, explore later. It's a powerful new message in a new tourism marketing video encouraging people to be patient when planning to visit Montana. MTN's Dennis Bragg explains what's behind the unusual approach.
It's not the kind of message you'd expect to see, but the marketers at Glacier Country Tourism say it's appropriate given these challenging times.
In Montana, it's always been easy to get some space, to disconnect in order to connect. But right now, we're focused on a different kind of space. Our perspective has shifted, and today we're loving Montana from the inside out.
We had just started our warm season campaign 2 weeks before this hit. And what we did is we hit pause immediately on all of our paid marketing. It just is, one, it's not appropriate. But two, we also want to make sure that the time is right.
Freedy says the marketers know it's a difficult position to take, especially with the tourism sector getting hit so hard with closures. In fact, she tells me putting the video together was very emotional for everyone involved.
We have to, one, talk about us. We have to talk about our communities and what we're doing for them, and that we have to concentrate on our own health and safety. It's hard for us to say, don't come. It's a really hard message for us, but it is absolutely the right message right now.
A message being shared through all the marketing channels, including social media, and even being pushed out to national media outlets. The glimmer of hope is that Glacier Country is still seeing a strong pace of inquiries from people who want to come here when things open up, an encouraging sign even as actual bookings have plummeted for now.
We know that people love Montana, and this is just kind of a love video to them.
We'll see you later. And when that day comes, it'll be a great one.
An interesting message indeed, and one that Glacier Country Tourism hopes you'll share with your friends. We have links on our website and social media channels. In Missoula, Dennis Bragg, MTN News.
And we'll be back right after this. Well, with churches closed and egg hunts canceled, many Montanans are celebrating Easter at a distance. We reached out to our viewers to see how they're making this Easter Sunday an extra special one. Our viewers' responses proved even quarantine couldn't stop the Easter Bunny from paying Montana a visit. Some viewers showed off their baskets and treats courtesy of the Big Bunny himself. We're happy to see the kiddos and their families celebrating safely. That's all the time we have. 60 Minutes is next. We'll see you back here at 10.